Managing a team can be frustrating, it can feel exhausting and like you're banging your head against a brick wall, but it doesn't have to be like that. And in this video, I'm going to bring you 5 things that you can do to take back control and enjoy managing your team again. Hello, my name's Jenefer, I'm the founder of Silk Helix, and we help small businesses with all things employment law, management and leadership. So let's go. Number 1, you need to take control. Now, I speak to a lot of small business owners who go into business deciding that actually they don't want all the targets and they don't want all the pressure from the boss, and that's why they set up on their own. So when they employ people, they say, well, I'm not going to be that boss. I'm not going to be the one that's putting loads of pressure on or putting expectations or measuring. And the reality is, it wasn't the expectations and the measuring that was the problem. It was the way your boss was doing it. So when you don't have anything, you leave everything so open to just frustration on both sides. The reality is you have expectations. People have expectations, and if they're not written down, they're not shared, they're not spoken about, they just lead to frustration and resentment. So you need to make sure that you're taking control. This is your business. There are expectations, there are targets. You've got costs that you've got to meet, not least your wage bill. And if you don't meet those, then the business is going to have a problem. So you've got to be clear about that to your team. You've got to be clear about what the expectations are. You've got to be clear about what it is that you're trying to deliver to your customer, what your brand is, what the experience is you want them to have, and therefore what your team are delivering. So set those expectations, take control. Now, that doesn't mean we've got to be draconian. It doesn't mean that you've got to be that boss that you didn't like. There are different ways of doing things, but you've got to set those expectations. You've got to be in control of what the team are delivering. Number 2 is make time for people. And I suspect this is one of the things where your previous boss was going wrong if that's the reason you don't want to set expectations now. Making time for people through good quality one-to-one meetings between you and the individual is really important. This is what makes people feel valued. It shows them that you're giving them time. Time's something that you can't take back. You can't outsource this. This is something you've got to give them. And in that, you can have your conversations around expectations and feedback, and we'll talk about that in a second. But most importantly, during those meetings, you'll be listening to them, you'll be getting to know them, you'll be understanding what it is that they want from work, and making a win-win situation where you can use what it is that they're looking for to motivate them and get what you need for your business. And crucially, showing them that they are valued, that their contribution to the business is important, it's worthwhile, and you're thanking them, you're recognizing them, you're valuing them for that contribution. How we have these conversations, how we set expectations is so important, and that's why I've developed a digital course helping managers and business owners to be able to do this stuff effectively. Details are on screen now or in the description below, but let's get on to the next one, which is feedback. Feedback, again, so important. People need to know where they are, what they're achieving. Now, if your expectations is really clear, your feedback should be relatively easy. When managers talk to me and fear giving feedback, it's because that feedback is kind of washy and we don't really know what we're saying. It's kind of finger in the wind, it's an opinion. We haven't got really clear expectations that we're measuring against, which gives the person lots of excuses because they can say, well, I didn't know that. And then we just get this back and forth. So once we've got those expectations really clear, then our feedback becomes much easier to give. But it is, again, so important that we give it. People will often know where they are. If the expectations are really good, people will know whether or not they're meeting them. But being able to have those conversations, and sometimes we do have to point out where somebody is falling below, but also feedback should be positive. So we should be able to say, well done. We should be able to congratulate somebody for what they have achieved, as well as being able to pick up on the things that they're not doing so well and need to improve on. Number 4 then is treat people as individuals and know what they are looking for to be able to motivate them. People that work for you are very different to you. They are most likely to be different to you because you're running a business and they are an employee. Now, it may well be that they're hoping to run a business, they may be more like you, but for the most part, the people we're employing are different, and we're all different, we're all human, and I think we understand this a lot better now than we ever used to. People aren't just coming to work for money. There is more to it. People often want to enjoy their work. They want to be treated with respect when they're at work. They may want learning and development from their work. They may want flexible environments that help them to achieve the things they want to be doing or need to be doing outside of work. When we understand and value the whole person, and we've listened to them in those one-to-one meetings, and we've got to know people and we've understood them, then we're able to motivate them on their level, on their terms, and we can motivate them by what it is that they're looking for. Now, we can't please everybody, and I'm not suggesting that we do, and this is where getting the right people into your business is really important. And when you start getting really clear on these things, then that does happen and you get the right people into your team. And number 5, accept that change is a challenge, and change will mean change. So if you're not in control at the moment, if you're going home frustrated every night, if you're feeling overwhelmed, if you're feeling fed up because you're not getting things done that need to be done, maybe the business isn't bringing in the money it needs to be bringing in, then you need to change. You need to break the cycle. Breaking that cycle is hard because the people that you've got working for you at the moment are familiar with that cycle. Now, some people will be really glad to see that break. They will be glad to have expectations met. They'll be glad to be having one-to-one meetings. They'll be glad to having feedback. They'll feel relieved that they've now got some boundaries in place, that they know what they're working towards and they feel recognised. Other people will hate it. Other people will be working for you because you don't have all of those things, and they won't want to come with you on this journey of change, and therefore we may need to accept that they are not right for the business and they need to move on. But the things that you've done by setting these expectations, being really clear about what it is that you need in the business, you'll find that you can attract and retain the right people, which is so much more valuable for your business. I've also had people say, actually, what I've found by setting these expectations is I didn't need so many people in the business. I'm now making more money with less staff because we've got those expectations. We've got that really clear focus. So accept that change means change. Accept that you've got to put in the work to do this. You've got to be really focused on what it is you're trying to do. You're not going to please everybody. But that when we've got this in place, when we've got this, we've broken the current cycle of frustration. It puts you in a better position. You can focus on your business, on growing your business, on the direction the business needs to be going in, whilst others are focusing what they need to be doing. And don't forget, my digital course is there. Again, details on the screen right now. If you want to develop the skills and the tools to be able to do this stuff and really enjoy managing your team and have a happier, healthy and more productive workforce, then click on that link and find out more about my course. Keep up to date with all my videos. Twice weekly, I'm sharing with you hints, tips on people management and employment law. Hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you don't miss a single one. And if you've got any questions, pop them in the comments and I will do my best to answer them.